come to the bold analysis. The officers that are around the death of Albert are coming out, reaching out in the media corridors and activists just to tell their side of the story, because unlike the bosses, the juniors do not have political platform, or rather the platform to defend themselves. And in this podcast, we're going to look at why this has brought national rage, something that has really been a worry to Kenya Kwanza investigator, Kenya Kwanza team, on why what they perceive as a small thing has now erupted into a national rage. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. And thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for supporting this podcast. We do these videos because of your support, and every day it's because of what you give us, the support that you give us. You may not agree with the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, but you must take this from him, that moving forward, what can change this country is what Rigathi Gachagua is saying in this video.
Dred List, we are proud of you. As director of CID, your tenure never saw extrajudicial killing. You are our son and we are proud of you. We are proud of you because you are very professional. What we are seeing, moderator, if you allow me, because I'm here, I want to talk to our police officers across the country. You have seen what has happened. Wewe unafuata amri ya mkubwa, unaenda munapiga mtu munaua, mkubwa analindwa, wewe unakuwa sacrifice, unaenda kotini. DIG Lagat anakuwa protected by Senate, by National Assembly, by Ruto, by everybody. OCS na ni kabila yake ako kwa bao. Constable anaitwa Mugwana ako kwa bao. I want to tell our police officers, don't obey unlawful orders. Don't carry out illegal instructions. Ndio? Si hao polisi wananisikia? Si wananisikia? Mimi ni mzee. Na mimi sijui nilikuwa naibu wa William Ruto. Huyo jamaa kwa kuruka wewe ni one touch. So nyinyi, you police officers, hata kama wewe ni kabila ya William Ruto, sio OCS ni kabila yake, amerukwa hajarukwa. I want to ask our police officers to follow 4 documents as they work. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Penal Code chapter 63 of the laws of Kenya, the Criminal Procedure Code CPC Cap 75, and the Evidence Act Cap 80. Those should be your guiding documents. Mkubwa akikwambia kwenda piga mtu, mwambie kuandikia karatasi. Si ndio? Kama hawa watu walitumiwa hapo Central Police Station, walikuwa wamemwambia DIG awaandikie kitu, saa hii wangekuwa kotini. Sasa mkubwa ameruka, hao wamerukwa, huyo polisi amewacha bibi yake na watoto wanahangaika. So nyinyi polisi mnasikia? Very good. So, and I want to say finally nikimaliza.
And it is important for those in power to understand the intrigues, especially when you have a privilege, the challenges or the things you need to do when you are actually in power. Clearly, it is true that so far, to the way the level the investigations have reached, the small fish anakarangwa, but the big fish is walking freely. And that is the tragedy of everything. This is something that we said last year. And even if you look at past cases, but let me tell you, this is the truth. The big fish will not be in it. But some small person somewhere is going to be in the thick and thin of everything. I need to tell you that the central police officers, and some of that have been interdicted, are sneaking to media corridors, reaching out to activists, reaching out to bloggers, just to try to prevent public lynching. I need to tell you that there is a screenshot that has emerged today, I think you can look at it, that allegedly the list of officers who are on duty roster the day that Albert was actually was arrested, or rather when the day he died, that list has been doctored. And some people who are not even it are now in the thick and thin of everything. And then it should serve as a reminder that while it is cool and it is within the ethical standards to follow your boss, but not everything you say should be done.
Hii video ni ya serikali cha kubeba ufala na makarao cha kuwa mafala. So Albert Ojwang alitolewa Homa Bay, akauliwa Nairobi. Kwa nini alitolewa Homa Bay? Ali-expose corruption. Mwenye alitumana achukuliwe, mbona hajashikwa? Wakati aliletwa Nairobi, he was tortured kuulizwa who is your source for this information. Maybe aliconfess tujui. Then the people who arrested him in Homa Bay and these torturers wakadelete his account, social media accounts. So whatever alikuwa anasema kwa hiyo mtandao yote imekuwa deleted. Nani ana stand ku benefit when that information disappears? Sasa tunaambiwa mwenye ameshikwa ni James Muhwana. Muhwana ni watchman wa cell. Kazi yake ilikuwa ni watchman. Anafungua cell, anafunga. Wale ambao walikuja kumpiga ni akina nani? Mmoja alishikwa OCS mjinga. Akaerase CCTV. Sasa tumeshikiwa watu wadogo, tumeshikiwa OCS na tumeshikiwa Muhwana. But who was the sender? Nani who is so powerful aguswi? Now to the police officers. Mnatumia kama tissue ile ya kupanguza mavi. Unajua hiyo tissue mnatumika vibaya kwa sababu mkienda kwa maandamano mnaua watu. Nani ana benefit? Kiongozi Ruto na wenzake. Mkienda kushika mtu muue, nani ana benefit? Wenzake. Wewe kama askari unaishi maisha mbaya, nyumba ndogo kama umbwa, na badala affordable house ni jengo polisi, inajengewa watu ambao wanaenda kununua manyumba. Polisi, raia si adui. Acha kutumia na wadosi wako vibaya saa hii. Kanja atashikwa, Langat atashikwa, Amina atashikwa, kale ka constable kalikuwa na kiarada kanaenda kashika Ojwang ndio kakosel kwa saa hii. Wale wadosi ambao mnachukua hongo mnawapatia hao washikangu. Look at the other time wakati Kenyatta alikuwa president. When Kenyatta was president, kuna watu walishikwa, walikuwa Pakistani au Indian. Some guys were arrested by orders from nani? From Kenoti. Wakashikwa, wakauliwa. Who is in court today saa hii? Sini askari wadogo wako kotini sasa. Kenoti hajashikwa, Kenyatta hajashikwa. Angalia story ya Rashid Isili. Rashid alikuwa anaua vijana. Nani kwa kotini sasa? Sini Rashid. Polisi, tumia ubongo, penda familia, penda jipende. Ukiambia uambia mdosi kuja chukua bunduki wewe uwe. Ruto akisema aende uwe, waambia Ruto kuja uwe. Junda ndifiti kwa barabara. Hapana uwa sisi.
The public would want to sympathize and empathize with the small fish. But this is what Bonnie is saying. Usitumike. That's the point. Usitumike. And that is what I want to echo. Usitumike. You can see, things are tight and thick for the junior officers. Dunstan Omari, who has now been representing the two, Muhwana and Samson Talam, who was been arrested for the last couple of days. Dunstan Omari is the one moving around with cameras and has been trying to tell their story. And I need to tell you this. the story may never come out as it is, because the whole thing, there is a way it is designed to come out. There is a way it's been designed to come out. And I need to say this. The death of Albert has caused national rage. In Malindi, Kilifi, where Albert worked, the teachers, Kuppet branch in Malindi, did a candle lighting. Teachers branch in Meru did candle lighting. Teachers branch in Kisii did a candle lighting. The same to Nairobi and Homa Bay. And this is what has brought the whole system to its knees.
Taongea kama mzazi na bila upendeleo wowote. What Albert went through, hiyo kitu naweza tu ilinganisha na what Jesus Christ alipitia wakati alikuwa hapa duniani. These are merciless people, killers, murderers, and they are supposed to work the same way they did to Albert. Imagine they went all the way mpaka kwao nyumbani, wakamchukua 6 people. They are unknown, si ati hawajulikani. I don't care kama ni serikali or opposition. Hao watu walionekana, baba ya Albert aliwaona. Lakini mpaka saa hii tunasikia mmoja amekamatwa, wawili. Ifato kama mmoja amekamatwa, kwa nini asiseme na wao wengine walikuwa nao? I cannot support umwagikaji wa damu. Na President Samuel Ruto uko kwa kipimo saa hii. Mimi ni supporter wako, lakini saa hii uko kwa kipimo. Tunataka tujue wale waliendea Albert kwa nyumbani, wakakuja wakimtoto, wakimpiga, wakimfanyia vituko zote. As a human being, I can imagine the way he was begging them, my brother, don't kill me, I will never repeat again. But they killed him. These are satanic people. Wakunywaji wa damu. Na kama ni Lang'ati pamoja na NG wote waende nyumbani, hakuna mzuri. The reason why I'm saying this, Lang'ati, wewe kweli unatakia President Ruto mazuri? Kama unamtakia mazuri, wewe ni ndugu yake. Hii kilemu ilifanywa on your behalf. Kwani ni viongozi wangapi wanatukanwa na wananyamaza? Angalia Kimani Ichung'wah anaitangwa bibi wa rais, hatujaisikia. Na President Ruto, you have people around you, but they are betraying you. They are betrayers. Angalia people who are working around you. Futa wote kazi, ubaki tu na Faruku Kibet is the only loyal person to you. Wafute wote, kwa sababu mwezi yaiza kama umetoka Homa Bay County. Tuliona watu wa Homa Bay walilala kwa uwanja wamekungoja. Walianza kuingia hapo saa 3 ya usiku. They were waiting for you. That love they shown you. But right now, can you go to Homa Bay? Nani amekuharibia? Uchunguzi ufanyike. Either Lang'ati or whoever. Na kama ni hao watu wa opposition, they are very desperate, hata wao si waachi. Kama wanataka kutumia hii kifo kudhalilisha serikali, uchunguzi ufanyike vizuri sana.
How exactly are we going to navigate that space? Listen to these video clips. So what was perceived as a very small thing, what was seen as something that could be managed, has now turned to be a full-blown crisis. And I think what is even making the state a bit more worried is the fact that the story is not fading away. We're just talking with some editor, a very good friend of mine on one of these mainstream. And is, you know, in mainstream media, there is something called agenda setting. Agenda setting is, what do you think the country wants to? Without mentioning one or two, The day there was a protest, there was another important, very important event, budget reading. Do you know, even though, and this is what happened, even though the screens were supposed to be glued to Parliament, but the mainstream could only get people in front of the screens when they do split screen, where the protest is going on and the budget reading is going on. People were more interested to know what was happening on the side of the protest, more importantly than even the budget itself. Than even the budget itself. So they could not get, and they had no option but to try to do what the audience wanted. So in this one, let me take the next few minutes to explain why, contrary, I've seen another MP has even been saying, you know, this is not an ordinary death. We had fishermen who died, I don't know, somewhere where. We had those who had been killed before. But was this important? But I think, I agree. I saw someone making some, it was in a light note, but I took it a little bit interesting, saying that Albert did not die. That his blood or spirit did not just go in vain. And he decided he's not dying. Why Albert death triggers national rage? The first factor is the DIG Lagat factor. You know, that is the first thing. And on these grounds, which should not be the basis, but that is it. Lagat comes from, I don't know if it's Lagat or Lagat. Lagat comes from, the DIG comes from the president's backyard. So if he's not being pushed aside, the public see that he's getting the protection from the first in command. And that is already a beef that the masses can have with the administration. You can look at that. Number two, I think Rigathi Gachagua, even before this, had made several allegations touching on this. That made several allegations that, you know, that is a sub-tribe coming from the president's side who are having some hit squad, who are doing this and that. So already his name was maligned. And that, and these factors in it, and in fact, I want to tell you this, that resignation, it can come. Yes, when in the thick of everything and IPOA, you know, puts up and realizes, no, this needs to happen, it will come. But even if it then happens, that will not give this story a finality. Do you know that now you cannot interview Nani's father? Do you know that now you cannot interview Albert's father? And that brings me to the second aspect, why this has created a national rage. Mzee's tears. When Mzee cried, you know, there are things that you cannot play with. When Mzee cried, there are things Mzee said. And those still also sticks to people's mind. Says, I am old. This was my only child. I schooled him to university. Nikifanya kazi ya kware. So wakati akuja nisaidie, akasema nani, umeniua. Mzee's tears were very, very, very deep. And I know members of this channel are still like, when they remember Mzee's tears was a big, big factor. And you can correlate the clarity of the story, the clarity of the story about what happened. I gave out my son and I trusted the system that they will prosecute him and probably I will see justice. The third observation is the deleted account or the tweet. And let me say this, the fact that the arrest is stemmed from social media, especially Twitter. Let me tell you, Twitter and YouTube is mostly middle class. Doesn't have hustlers. The middle class are people who can interpret information. They can code. They are not the emotional battalion. Emotional battalion are the hustlers. Emotional battalion are the guys in Facebook. But the Twitter and YouTube is not the emotional battalion. And that group triggered, that group really felt like it is social media attack. And the fact that that account doesn't exist, the public do not seem to see makosa yake. And by the way, you know, in the whole conversation, hata mtu ukiuliza mtu, Albert alifanya nini? No one has an answer. So the whole thing, the state lacks its own fair share of defense. And on that, I want to tie that with the fact that that triggered the middle class. You know, this was a teacher. For quite some time, even in December, when the other arrests were done, we were told these are kids. You know, these are kids. Wazazi wao sasa mpaka wazazi muongeleshe. But now this one touched the middle class. And I think even the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, the guys in the middle space felt, oh, abduction, even us, we are under threat. That issue is the media coverage. It played a big role. The way they covered it, even though now even the media is getting infiltrated so that they can walk away from the story. Perpetrators were caught off guard. Off guard. That is why there is something I don't know if I've said it on camera. Maybe I've said it off camera. The intention was never to kill Albert. That was not the plan. The intention was never to. Looking at how the arrest was made, the intention was never to kill. But somewhere in the middle of everything, things went wrong. Maybe walimpiga, akona underlying condition, hawajui. And it's a lesson. It's a lesson security agencies. Umeshika mtu unaanza tu kupiga tu mtu careless. Utapiga mtu ambaye akona ugonjwa. Then something happens, utabaki kwa. And so they were found off guard. They didn't have, and that is why there was a lot of flip-flopping. Oh, aligonga kichwa kwa cell. Oh, now, you know, there have been a lot of theories about it. Alitolewa kagongwa kakuma karudishwa. So there was no escape plan, and the state was caught off guard. Thank you.